So hello everyone. My name is Aurélie Gefeller. I'm Dean of Studies here at Genève. This presentation will maybe be a little bit less exciting than the previous one or the next ones, but it's nonetheless important because it is about the requirements for applying for a master's program and also the whole application process. And if you master that, then you can focus on contents that is more interesting. I want to say that because we have to respect timing, I will not take questions during the presentation, but I will stand outside after the presentations if you have questions, because I know often this raises questions. So our director presented the different courses of studies. For those who entered the room just now or a few minutes ago, as you can see, we have a wide range of programs at both bachelor and master's level. The master's program is a 2-year full-time program. This is important to state. You will have time to take a student job. You will not have the time to do a part-time real job. And it's 120 ECTS credits, according to the European system of recognizing academic work. And the title you get in the end is a Master of Arts HESSO, which is our parent institution, HESSO, Master of Arts, and then it will be written your specific program. Even if you're in design, it's a Master of Arts. So pedagogy, the main focus is on workshop teaching, and that include workshops, l'atelier, but also mandates that are conducted on behalf of external partners, and then this culminates into your master's project. Then you will also have to attend theoretical teaching, including seminars and workshops, and write a master's thesis at the end. And finally, you have some more exploratory teaching, including study trips, workshops that are common to different programs, and special weeks. We will have a special weeks, for example, at the end of February, where some master's programs are involved, and bachelor's programs as well. And it's different workshops on the theme, mixing all students from all courses. Before I get to the eligibility requirements, I mean, if you come to HED, probably want to stay, but you may want to also do a semesters abroad, which is possible, up to 2. Usually at master's level, you do 1 from either in the semester 2 or semester 3. These semesters are counted as part of your studies at Genève, and you have mobility grants. This is the map of our partner schools. We are working, it's not completely up to date, we are working on developing more partnerships with English-speaking schools, and in the medium to longer term to develop partnerships with schools located in Africa. Finally, an important element, our director spoke about your professional path after your studies. You have the possibility to do an internship that will count towards your studies in most programs, in fact, in all of them. During the academic year for the fine arts and interior architecture programs, and in the summer between year 1 and year 2 for all other programs in design. Eligibility. It's a very simple rule. You need to hold by the 1st of September a bachelor's degree at university level or applied sciences level, HES, in Switzerland, or a foreign qualification deemed equivalent. If you have a foreign qualification, do write to our admissions office as of now, because some qualifications are recognized to be of tertiary level, so university level in France, for example, and they are not here. So it's very important that you have all the information, and our Office of Studies, Admissions Office, can give you the answer. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, you have another entry path. but this is only for people who are at least 25 years old by the time they apply and have at least 7 years of full-time work experience in the field. And so this is not an easy requirement to have if you are fairly young. It's more for people who chose not to study when they finished school and then developed their own practice, and then around, I don't know, in their late 20s or in their 30s, decide they want to have some kind of academic training. So this is really for this type of profile. Language requirements. So we'll spend a little bit of time on that because depending on the programs, you have different language requirements. For the thumb rule is a B2 level in the language of instruction of the program if you don't hold either a secondary level degree or a bachelor's degree in that language. If you do, you don't have to have a B2 certificate. So all the Masters in Design programs, except for a new program, Visual Knowledge, as well as a Master in Interior Architecture, are taught in English. Therefore, if you don't have either a secondary level title or a bachelor's degree in English, you will need to show to us that you have a B2 level. Not now, but by the 30th of June. So you can submit that after you receive your offer of admission if you're admitted. We accept a wide range of tests. You have here the minimum scores that you need to have if you passed a TOEFL already, like 72, or the IELTS 6.0. You can take an easy test at home, not easy in the sense, but easy in terms of organization, which is a Duolingo. And then you need to have a minimum score out of 100. And you can have also other equivalents. If you're unsure whether your English might be recognized, do write to the admission office. One word about Duolingo, because this is the test that our students find the cheapest and the most easy to organize. But if you are caught looking aside, which can be interpreted by the system as cheating, you're automatically excluded and you cannot do it again. So be careful when you do it. Exactly, you have to look straight. Huh? I don't know if it's forever, but I know some of our candidates had problems, so you really have to actually, because it's silly to be excluded because you look out of the window, so. And some people, maybe some that didn't look out of the window, I don't know what they were doing, but we had this feedback last year. For Workmaster and CCC, they're taught both in English and French. So you either need to have a secondary level or bachelor's degree in French or English, or then you can submit a language certificate in either English or French. And here we have a list of possible, it's not, you can also have others tests in French, so the DELF at B2, the DALF at C1 or C2, to be equivalent to a B2, don't ask me why. TCF or TCF DAP at B2, TF B2, or any other that we may recognize as being at B2 level. And the English ones, okay, and the English ones were before. So, and then we have two programs that are taught in French, the Trends program and our new program in Visual Knowledge, and there you only need French to prove French, so either through a previous degree or through an English, a French certificate. Again, all of this, you have time if you need to work towards a certificate, because we are now in January, and you only need to submit that by the 30th of June. This is in your own interest. Most universities in Switzerland ask for C1. We opted for B2 because here it's more practical education. You don't need to write that much, but you do need to be able to write and also understand what your teachers say. So the application process, It's a two-step process. First, you submit an electronic application, including a personal file, and you have an evaluation by a committee based on that. And if you are selected for the first round, at the end of the first round, then you are invited to an interview. And on your side, it's also a two-step process. You first have to submit an administrative electronic file, and that you can do as of today if you are sure to apply, because all the data that are asked are administrative, so you don't need to involve a lot of creativity. I'm saying that because it will save you a lot of stress, and maybe you need a bit of time to think, but don't do it the day before the deadline, because this will be stressful for nothing. And once you've submitted your application and paid, you pay online, then you receive a link to a switch file, which will be your personal file, and you can update it as you wish until the day of the deadline. And this switch file is what the committee will look at. The first part is only our admission office to make sure you comply with all the requirements. The second one is where you want to spend your energy on, and this is why I suggest doing step one as early as possible, because you want to spend your energy on two. And two involves a CV, a motivation statement, also what we call a positioning statement, where you present your stance with respect to your field. What is expected is very much field dependent, so I will not delve on it now. You can ask the different program heads today. And finally, obviously, the most important aspect, your portfolio. If you don't have a bachelor's degree and you apply under special conditions, at the administrative stage, you will include more documents, a justification statement, why you should be selected for a master's program without a bachelor's degree, a summary table of all your professional achievements, and any supporting documents. We know that we are in art and design, and that you will not have, in Switzerland, we have work certificates, so we will not have a nice list of work certificates, like from 1st of April to that date and then following in line. So anything that can prove your work experience should be in the field, should be uploaded. And if you apply under special conditions, you cannot probably do the administrative part today, because you will need to collect that, write your motivation statement. So for these people only, you need to wait a bit, but not that long, because your application deadline will be earlier than the regular application deadline. Evaluation criteria at stage one, and this will be the same at stage two, but they are developed a little bit. It's the relevance of know-how for your field, because you don't apply for a bachelor's degree, so we don't look only at potential, but already at what you've achieved. Motivation, also your ability to articulate a coherent thought in your field, and then whether the training you apply for is appropriate given your level of experience. And that goes both ways. Some people may be deemed insufficiently prepared, but others overqualified. So we want to make sure that the program will be at the right level for you. And these are pretty much the same criteria that are developed further at stage two, at the interview. We will look at your creative skills, which is the most important criteria. And then at two criteria that come in support of this first criterion, which was, on the other hand, reflective and conceptual skills, and on the other hand, your motivation. I say they come in support because if you are deemed insufficiently prepared in terms, or prepared or with insufficient potential in terms of criteria 1, you cannot compensate for that with criteria 2 and 3. But with two people with who had judged to have a similar level of creative skills, then that makes a difference depending on 2 and 3. Timeline, crucial. All take your phone and take a picture of that, or you remember, you look at our website. If you apply under special conditions, the deadline is 11th of March at 5 p.m. Swiss time. And for all the others, and it's majority of you, the deadline is 25th of March at 5 p.m. And again, don't wait until the last minute to open and submit your electronic file. If you really want to come to HEAD, don't plan a vacation at the beginning of May, because the interviews will be held from 2nd to 8th of May. Ideally in person, and in person for everyone living in Switzerland or in nearby France. And for the others, in person if you can. And if not, you can do it on Teams. This is what we use. We don't use Zoom. It's better in person. So if you have, even if you live in Paris and you can come, it's better for you. Final decision will be made around 15th of May, and you will have until 31st of May to 31 of May to accept or decline the offer, because then we have a waiting list. So there is a different timeline for one program with visual knowledge, and this only for this year. So it's not because it's special, it's because we are opening this year, and we actually opened it only in January because it had to go through several layers of approval. And hence, we have a different timeline only for this year. So if you're not interested in this program, close your eyes. If you are, the deadline are 28th of April for special conditions, 5th of May for regular deadline, interview, short period, 22nd of May. You will have to, the final decision will be communicated to you very soon after, because it's only one program, 28th of May, and you will have until 10th of June to give your final decision. Also, if you have friends, do share that, because it's not always easy to understand that you have a different timeline and that you have a bit more time, because it's a new program. And also, very importantly, it's a program taught in French, unlike all our design programs that are taught in English. A few words about the cost of studies, and I would like to say this is a budget if you don't live with family members or friends, and that you have a rent and all costs to pay. These are not the tuition fees. This is your monthly budget, which is for Swiss students around 2,400, 2,700, and slightly higher for students who have a B education permit, 2,500, 2,800. Again, if you can live for free with someone, this will not be your cost. This includes the student fees, and the student fees are fairly low, given that we are a public institution. It's 775 for Swiss students. By Swiss, we mean nationality, but also tax residents, and that also applies to cross-border commuters. And for the others, it's 1,125. This budget also includes your annual study costs, 1,000 to 3,000, including a computer. You will need a computer at HEAD, and other types of study costs. And finally, you will have to spend a bit extra in your final year, from 3,000 to 5,000 for your diploma project. Now, don't leave the room if you don't have this money just yet, because not everyone can rely on family members to fund a master's program. In fact, most people cannot rely on that. And we have a wide array of financial aid. You can find information on this website, available in both English and French. And also, because depending on your background and your tax residence background, you may or not be eligible as of your first year. So if you have questions, One of the person at the admission office of Studies, Émilie Parando, who is here today, is also the person advising students on financial aid. So do go and speak to her. Her name is Émilie Parando, and you will have more information on that. Final information. Do read carefully our conditions and procedures. We received 1,300 applications last year. If we had to provide personalized assistance to everyone, we would have to ask for more resources from Geneva taxpayers to hire more people. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. It's not that we don't want to offer personalized assistance, but only once you've actually got all the general information. And we only want to provide personal assistance regarding specific questions. So print it and read it and take notes. There are two of them, one for special conditions and one for regular applications. So only print the one that applies to you, and only in one language, whether you prefer reading it in French or in English. So it's only one document that you need to read carefully. And then once you've read it, you can contact our admissions office with questions. Contact information, so this is the office to contact. One email address, one phone line. And then for questions on either if you have doubts about your course of studies or about financial aid, you can contact by email our student advisor, Émilie Parando. Reminder deadline. This is for the regular ones. Visual knowledge, I hope you got it before. Special conditions, 11th of March, and regular applications, 25th of March. So I thank you for your attention. I don't want to take more time now, even for questions. I will move outside and you can come for questions. But if you have even a slight interest in interaction design, please stay for the next presentation, which will be very exciting. Thank you.